What is going on, everybody? It is Dealing with Astrodfs, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video going over Week 8's $1 million main slate. 13 games on this slate. We're back. No bye weeks this week, I believe. Thursday night showdown, 13 games Sunday, plus a Sunday night game and a Monday night game. Full week. It's going to be a fun one. So let's get into it. So Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Lamar, all quarterbacks above 8K this week. Mahomes division game against Denver at 8,400. Jalen Hurts playing Washington again at 8,200. And Lamar 8,100 against Arizona. All three, clearly you can see the ranks, but still really all good matchups there. Two against New England is going to be an interesting one. At 7,700, I don't hate it. I don't mind it. Kirk Cousins against Green Bay is going to be probably a rougher one in that division game. Stafford against Dallas, I'm going to say no on that one as well. CJ Stroud against Carolina, I think that's going to be a good game, seeing Stroud and Bryce Young, the top two quarterbacks in the draft class, facing off against each other. But Stroud at 6,300 against Carolina, I don't mind that. Trevor Lawrence, 6,200 against Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good matchup, good price point there for him. Dak Prescott, 6,100 against the Rams. I don't mind it just because of the price. Joe Burrow against San Fran at 6,000. Normally I'd say no, but I'm going to say yes on this one. San Fran just got burnt last night by Kirk Cousins. Geno against Cleveland's a no. Kyler Murray, I doubt he plays, but if he does, 5,800 against Baltimore. It's a rough matchup for him. Jordan Love, 5,700 in that division game against Minnesota. I don't mind that. I really don't. Brock Purdy against Cincinnati at 5,600. Not really sold yet, fantasy-wise for Purdy. Derek Carr against Indy, 5,500. Looks like it could be a really good tournament play. Probably nowhere near in cash. Deshaun Watson, 5,500 against Seattle. If he plays, no. Minshew, 54, no against New Orleans. Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor, 54 and 5,300 against the Jets is a no. Russ against Kansas City, no. Howell against Philly, I don't mind, especially in tournaments. Josh Jacobs is a no. Bryce Young, 51. Just because of the price point, I don't mind that at 5,100. Desmond Ridder against Tennessee. Tennessee just traded away their best secondary player, and their secondary's been bad. But, Desmond Ridder, look at his last few games and, getting rushing touchdowns. Getting up there in passing yards as well, right? 302 of his last 3 games. He's up there in fantasy points. So I don't mind that price point at 5,100 against Tennessee. I think that's going to be an ugly game, though. Mac Jones, 5,000 against Miami. I'm going to say no just because it looks like Miami might get Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey in that game, and that's going to be scary. Kenny Pickett, 4,900 against Jacksonville. I don't mind that price and matchup. Watch the injury status for Ryan Tannehill against Atlanta. Zach Wilson, no at 4,800. PJ, if he ends up starting, 4,800 against Seattle, still a no there. I think the only injury news we're looking at is Malik Willis at 4,700. Will Levis 4,400 if he ends up being the quarterback for Tennessee. Now to running back, we got Christian McCaffrey at 9,200, rightfully so. Was injured. People were worried about him. Had a really good game last night against Minnesota. Saquon, 8,000 against the Jets. I don't mind that if he plays. Obviously, it's going to be hard with a full slate to pay up at running back. It's probably going to be a pay down week, if I had to guess. But I don't mind it if you can afford it. Raheem Mostert against New England, I'm okay with that one. Derrick Henry against Atlanta, no, especially the price point. Tony Pollard, no against the Rams just because of the price point. Alvin Kamara, 7,300, yes, I'm okay with. And 2 games with 14 targets for Alvin Kamara is just crazy. His floor is 17.4, and that's huge for running back. I think they priced him accordingly for what he's done since returning from the suspension. Travis Etienne, 7,200 against Pittsburgh. That one's a good one. Ken Walker, no at 7,000. Aaron Jones at 6,400, I don't mind. Obviously, last week, 8 for 35, 5 targets. I think Aaron Jones is just a huge part of that Green Bay offense. So I like that price point. DeAndre Swift, 6,300 against Washington. I like that one. Jonathan Taylor, no. Isaiah Pacheco, no. Bijan Robinson is 6,000 this week. 6,000. I looked at it and thought maybe it was Brian Robinson and I missed Bijan. No, this is Bijan Robinson. And to put it in perspective, right? Obviously, he had the health concern, something with his head, right? That caused him to not end up really playing. But I mean, you look at his price point. He started off the season 8,000. Had a couple good games to start. It's kind of fallen off, right? Cordell Patterson been used. Tyler Algier always being used. But just not getting the work he should, right? The volume's just not good volume, right? Like, he's getting volume, but he's not at the same time. So, Bijan is 6,000 this week. That's an ultimate value for someone like Bijan's talent against Tennessee. Breece Hall, $100 cheaper, though, against the Giants. I like that one. I mean, you look at Breece Hall's last 2 games where they said they're just going to let him, they're not going to put a restriction on him. I mean, 20 and 31 in those 2 games. So, another favorable matchup for him against the Giants. Joe Mixon and San Fran. I don't mind the price point for someone like Joe Mixon. It's just that he's not Joe Mixon. Zach Moss is a no. Matson, I don't mind at his price point. Obviously, he got a little banged up, but got back in the game. 5,600 against Green Bay, I don't mind. We saw Denver kind of run all over Green Bay. Gus Edwards, I don't mind as a tournament play. I don't think in cash it might be the greatest. Obviously getting a lot of work, but that 80-yard, I think it was an 80-yard touchdown too, got him 15 out of his 21 points, so I don't mind it for tournaments, though. Ramondre against Miami is another one I don't mind for tournaments. You kind of look his last 2 weeks, getting a lot of receiving work, 6 targets in the last 2 games, so Ramondre in that matchup I don't mind. Brian Robinson, no. Dameon Pierce, yes, 5,300. Kareem Hunt's an interesting one. He'll probably get a decent amount of the workload. Obviously gets the red zone work. 2 touchdowns last week to boost him up. Javonte, no, against Kansas City. Dylan, no. Harris, no. Algier, no. Mason, no, unless something happens to CMC. I think an interesting one looking at it now is Miles Sanders is 4,900 if he plays. If not, Chuba's at 4,800. Darrell Henderson, 4,800 against Dallas is an interesting price point. I think that's really it for running backs. I don't see anybody. Matt Breida, if for whatever reason Saquon's out, 4,400. That's a good price point there. And that's pretty much it at running back. Go to wide receiver now. Tyreek Hill, 9,500 against New England. It's a good matchup for him. Cooper Kupp, another unfavorable matchup. I know a lot of people got burnt by him last week. Two receptions, 29 yards, had 7 targets, but 6.9 at 95 really burnt a lot of people's double-up lineups. Jamar Chase, almost the same thing. Last game he had 14 points at 8,300, kind of burnt some people there. I like the matchup, though, at 8,100, but A.J. Brown, 8,000 against Washington. I mean, this guy is on a tear, showing why he's one of the best receivers in the league by far. Puka, no. CeeDee Lamb, yes, against the Rams. Jalen Waddle, I think I think they're overpricing Jalen Waddle for what he's done so far, right? He hasn't had a game over 20 DraftKings points. He hasn't had a game with over 100 yards yet, but he's still at 7,500. He should not be that high for what he's done. He just shouldn't be. Brandon Ayuk against Cincy at 7,000. Yes, Debo is supposed to be out multiple weeks. DK, no. Devontae Smith, I don't mind at 6,700. It's another guy that I think is just being mispriced. Like, 2 good games to start. Starts to get the price at 7,500, drops down at 6,700. But I mean, the last 3 weeks he's yet to get over 10 DraftKings points. So I think his price point is still too high. He should be at the around like this price, 6,300, 6,200 with those wide receivers. Adam Thielen, 6,600. He went down to 3,900 in this season, right? Has a 2 for 12. Doesn't seem like he's going to be used, and since then has just exploded and is all the way up to 6,600. So his price is kind of adjusted to his fantasy output. Michael Pittman, no. Chris Olave, yes. Garrett Wilson, I don't mind that. Amari Cooper, no. Tyler Lockett, no. Christian Kirk finally being over Ridley in price, and rightfully so. I mean, since week 1, been the better fantasy wide receiver option. Calvin Ridley, it's kind of the opposite. Week 1 has a really good week. And then week 5 in London against Buffalo has a really good week. But other than that, hasn't been there. And his price is adjusted accordingly. T. Higgins, 5,900, another wide receiver that just one good week and is disappointed every other week you've had him. Jordan Addison, I'm going to lean no. I imagine Jair is going to face Addison a lot, so that's going to be a rough matchup for him. George Pickens, yes, against Jacksonville. Zay Flowers, yes, against Arizona. I don't know how you guys feel about Zay Flowers, but every time I see him, I feel like you look at his DraftKings points, right? And, I mean, he's yet to get over 100 yards. Only 1 touchdown on the year. But, I mean, I feel like he's been so close, like, just one good reception away from just having an explosive game. So, yes, Zay Flowers, 5,600. Nico Collins, 5,500 against Carolina. That's a yes for me. D-Hop, no. Judy, no. McLaurin, yes. I just, you saw what he did against Philly in week 4. I don't know if anyone else actually, watches Terry McLaurin, but, I mean, the guy is an elite receiver and just being underutilized. He should be getting 10-plus targets easy a game, and he's just getting them in really bad situations, really short yardage plays. He's one of the better, I'd say best wide receivers in contested catches. I think that's just been how his career's been with the unfortunate quarterback play he's had to deal with. But yeah, 5,300 for McLaurin is a yes. Oh, sorry about that. Cortland Sutton is a no against Kansas City. Marquise Brown is a no against Baltimore. Christian Watson, watch the injury status. If he plays, I don't mind that. If not, Romeo Doubs in Reed. 2 really good plays for Green Bay against Minnesota. Drake London, 5,100 against Tennessee. Yes, like I said, they traded away their best secondary player. 5,100. I mean, the points is he's a boom or bust guy. That's pretty much how he goes. His price is pretty much going to stay at 5,100 until there's more consistency there. Sorry. Deontay Johnson, 5,000 against Jacksonville is a yes. Rashee Rice against Denver. The stack worked for me. Getting Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes last week. That was a good stack for me. I mean, you look at his numbers. I mean, they're pretty good so far this year. Nothing really crazy. But getting red zone targets, getting those touchdowns is definitely a boost for Rashee Rice. Tank Dell, another one, watching injury status, but I don't mind it against Carolina. Romeo Doubs, I mentioned, 4,900. If Watson's out, that's a really good price point matchup for him. Michael Thomas against Indy is a good one. Josh Downs against New Orleans is probably good, with Pittman probably going to see Lattimore. Just go down and see if we see anybody. Kendrick Bourne, 4,700 against Miami. Last 2 weeks, 2 really good games. So that's one to watch out for. Obviously against Miami, only 6.9 targets, but I'd watch Miami's secondary and see Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard first before committing to any really bad offense like New England. We'll go down, see if we see anybody that stands out. Shaheed, 3,900. I guess that's that one. Odell, 3,800. Jaden Reed, I mentioned 3,700 if Watson's out. I don't mind that one. I don't think there's anybody else here at the wide receiver position. Maybe Mecole Hardman, just because of what's going on in Kansas City, but 3 targets last week, nothing really crazy. Tight ends, yeah. Like, this is how you know the slate is going to be a good one. Travis Kelce, 8,400. Patrick Mahomes, 8,400. You're paying $16,800, right? Basically a third of your salary for 2 players. Rightfully so. Good matchup. Worked for me last week. Will it go to it again? Maybe. We'll see. Mark Andrews, 6,400 against Arizona. I like that one. TJ Hawkinson against Green Bay is a no. George Kittle against Cincy, yes. Darren Waller, yes, against the Jets. Dallas Goedert, yes, against Washington. Evan Ingram, I lean maybe. It might get up there for me. I mean, I just, price point alone, I'd rather go to Dallas Goedert for $100 more. Taysom Hill, no. Dalton Schultz against Carolina, no. Kyle Pitts, no. Hunter Henry, no. Jake Ferguson, 3,600. I don't mind that one. That's a good one. Njoku, no. Luke Musgrave, I doubt he plays. It looked like he got hit in the head pretty hard in that game last week. Joanna Smith, no. Logan Thomas, I don't mind that price point, 3,400. Same for Tyler Higbee, 3,300 against Dallas. Tyler Conklin, I don't mind his price point in matchup either, 3,200. Chig, that one's hurt a lot of people that have put their faith in a Chig this year. Really has yet to get anything at all. I mean, you look at his longest reception, it's 20 yards through 6 games. We go down, see if anybody stands out. I don't think so. Hayward, 2,600, I guess. Fair move out, 4.3 to 5.3. I think it's a fine punt play at tight end. If you're looking to save salary, guy that gets you, 4 or 5 points in that matchup against Jacksonville. And then defenses, just on the cheap side, Denver, no. New England, no. I mean, New England, maybe, because I think Miami's given up 2 pick sixes the last 2 games, so maybe there. Arizona, no. Maybe Cincy. San Fran struggled the last couple of weeks, but, I mean, Cincy's defense, like, look at how much they've been all year and the numbers they put up. Baltimore drops 27 on them. They still get 6 points there. Tennessee drops 27. They get 5. Drop 20. They get, obviously they get a couple touchdowns, but I think Cincy's defense is the one to go to this week. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I will not have any of the specific player groups videos this week. It's just based off my work schedule. So if you guys want the sheets for that, just, click the link to our Discord. So our subscribers get that on Sunday. So if you guys are looking forward to that, just click the link. And if you guys have any questions, just feel free to DM me. So hope you guys did enjoy. I will have a video going out for Thursday's showdown. So if you guys are interested in that one, I will have a sheet up for that. So hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.